Hikaru video and then talk about it?
Well, maybe. Did you guys? I know there are two Hikaru videos out there having to do with the return of Hans, but I haven't seen them yet. Hey, Moves. Hey, Mike Saylor, but I was on Hans' stream and he pulled up one of the Hikaru videos and was getting pretty pissed about it, but I didn't get to see a lot of it. If I didn't bring my glasses down here, so I can't see if it's all in there. Well, I guess we don't care what that says.
Very big update regarding the scandal that everyone saw and rocked the chess world nearly 1 year ago. So today we have a big article from chess.com. They've now published an article in regards to the Hans Niemann lawsuit. So here we go. We have, of course, the Hans Niemann update from chess.com. So let's go right into the action. So, from chess.com, we see chess.com concludes the legal dispute with Hans Niemann to return to chess.com.
What's up with the over
Chess.com
expressions?
and Hans Niemann have resolved their differences and are moving forward. As many readers will be aware, chess.com and
That's what I'm
Niemann,
wondering.
as well as Magnus Carlsen and Hikaru.
I mean, he's talking strangely, like his lips are going way out. Now. Fast forward. Okay, we can do it on a faster speed. How do we do that? Settings.
I wouldn't change the speed. It's only 12-minute video.
Okay. I mean, I'm happy to listen to it
Yeah,
speeded.
I wouldn't ever listen to anybody who's talking in the chat. Ever.
I mean, it's
I
not
would do the
It's
opposite
not a
more
bad
often.
idea.
At the Sinkfield Cup, and Carlsen withdrew from the event. Shortly after those events, chess.com privately closed Niemann's account and published an
He's in
investigative
YouTuber
report
mode.
about Hans Niemann's play. Since June, both sides have negotiated privately in a good faith effort to resolve their issues and allow the chess world to move forward without further litigation. We are happy to share that all sides have reached an agreement. Okay, chess.com, Magnus, Hans, and Hikaru all have their own opinions.
Yeah, he's got
about
some
the
nice
events
eyebrows,
surrounding
too.
the controversy, and they agree they should be able to talk openly about their views. Now, to be clear, you guys, before we get too deep into the weeds, I will be giving you guys some thoughts on this afterwards as well. So I'm not simply reading through the whole article. At the end, I do intend to at least say something about this. All right. In the meantime, chess.com, Magnus, and Hans have released the following statements about their agreement. It says, "We are pleased to report that we have reached an agreement with Hans Niemann."
I thought
to put our differences
Hans was suing
behind us
Hikaru
and move
also.
forward
He was.
together Without
How did they have an agreement and Hikaru wasn't involved? Is he still suing Hikaru?
Maybe Hikaru. No, maybe Hikaru's. I heard he was on vacation somewhere.
All right.
All right. I mean, I wondered that too.
At this time, Hans has been fully reinstated at chess.com, and we look forward to his participation.
Oh,
in
it was
our
dropped.
events.
Okay.
All right. We would also
Dismissed.
just
Okay, I was
lost where
behind the
was. I'm on my
times.
laptop.
I knew it and I forgot it.
Where were we? I lost because I'm not used to looking at screens.
Everything was dismissed. Then he had to refile somewhere. That's all. It was all dismissed a long time ago against everybody. But then he had to refile somewhere else. They said.
I think Hikaru's was dismissed earlier than the recent thing.
I don't
though.
know.
I think it was. I had just forgotten that part of it.
Our events. We would also like to reaffirm that we stand by the findings in our October 22 public report regarding Hans, including that we found no determinative evidence that he has cheated in any in-person games. We all love chess and appreciate all of the passionate fans and community members who allow us to do what we do. Chess.com. So this is a chess.com statement. Now, in regards to the statement, it seems pretty clear-cut what they're saying here to read between the lines. They're saying they stand behind the report where they said that Hans cheated in online play. They are saying that, as in their report, that they do not have there's no determinative evidence that he cheated in any in-person games. So this is more or less what the chess.com statement is saying, is they stand behind the report which said he cheated online but not in person. All right. We have a statement now from Magnus Carlsen, which says, I acknowledge and understand Chess.com's report, including a statement that there is no determinative evidence that Niemann cheated in
These mannerisms are so strange.
What's that?
It's strange.
Should we be paired together? Magnus Carlsen. Now, the statement also very
Magnus said determinative because that's used a lot.
That he
Everybody always says
agrees with the
determinative.
Chess.com report, and that he will play him in the future if they should be paired. Of course, whether they play in the same events, very big question mark, as obviously Magnus is playing less and less classical chess these days, whereas Hans seems to be playing every classical chess that exists on the known planet Earth. All right, so let's keep going, and then we have a statement from Hans Niemann here at the bottom, which says, I am pleased that my lawsuit against Magnus Carlsen and Chess.com has been resolved in a mutually acceptable manner, and that I am returning to Chess.com. I look forward to competing against Magnus in chess rather than in court.
You need to see some hands.
To my attorneys at Ovid and Ovid for believing in me and helping me resolve my case. This is a statement from Hans Niemann. So again, pretty straightforward.
Wait,
Most wearables only track your heart rate during strength training, which
I
tells you
got it.
nothing about your
You gotta
muscles.
give me a minute to move.
Doesn't really say a whole lot, just that the legal end has been concluded. I will, of course, finish here. It says, as Hans returns to Chess.com, he will be allowed to play in any and all events and will be treated no differently from any other player. Chess.com always retains the right to open and close accounts based on our judgment, and we take that stewardship seriously. We will continue to protect and grow the game. So as you'll probably note, this is a pretty short post here on Chess.com. It's not a super long article. There's not a whole lot there other than some statements, some general stuff. You will notice a couple of things, though, that are probably very obvious. First of all, there is no statement from me. Secondly, I am not mentioned in this. I will say it quite clearly. I do feel like I got dragged into this. And so that is one little bit that I want
Wait
to
a
ask.
minute.
We're going to look at this and be like, well, where's Hikaru's statement? There's no statement from Hikaru. That being said, of course, as I mentioned at the start of this video, I will be saying a couple of things. So now this is more or less, I don't want to say a statement, I don't really like reading verbatim bit for bit, but due to the sensitivity around the issue, here's what I will say. The legal matter related to Hans and the Singfield Cup, Chess.com's report and decisions and opinions expressed are over. Ultimately, everyone will or has formed their own opinions. Some have very strong opinions one way or the other. I don't think that anyone's opinion is going to change at this point in time. So everyone has their own opinions about Hans based upon his performance there and in other events. We, of course, do know that FIDE has implemented new additional security measures since the events of the Singfield Cup. Of course, as far as Hans goes, we do know that Hans is currently rated about 40 to 45 points lower than he was after the Singfield Cup did conclude in September of 2022. Again, whatever the reasons may be, he has not been performing at that same level. Hans, however, is able to compete.
Okay, hang on just a minute. So I feel like he's implying that he's cheating. But no?
No, he
Maybe
just
not
said for whatever
necessarily.
reason. No, I don't think so.
I don't know. And also, I like the way he says he got dragged into it.
I mean, 40 rating points, 50 isn't a lot when he plays every week.
He plays
Your
those
ra-
open tournaments.
Your rating's going to go down when you play just travel open turn.
Yeah.
That's not the way to improve your chess or get
No,
your rating up.
that's all
That's
he
just a
can
way to
do.
lose rating points.
But I love the way he says he got dragged into it. I mean, I was there. I mean, it didn't seem like he was getting dragged in anything. He just ran his mouth, and whipped up the crowd. Is what he did.
Very frequently throughout the world. As I said earlier, he's been playing tournaments pretty much non-stop since the lawsuit. I mean, I think he was last in Abu Dhabi. He played a tournament, I think Kazakhstan, I think Romania even. So he's been all over the world playing a lot of tournaments. So he is not short on opportunities at the present time. So even despite this, I mean, he has struggled. So be it. Whatever.
I will say that comment, that was when I was watching Hans watch this. And, that made Hans mad because, obviously he has been denied the opportunities to improve because he's not allowed to play in these invitational. He's not invited. And so that's pretty disingenuous of Hikaru to say this.
Whatever the reason might be, he's lost or struggled to win against players who are 400 or more points lower rated than Magnus Carlsen. But again, time will tell, obviously. All that said, and leaving the Hans issue aside, we should not ignore the very serious threat that cheating does pose to chess, whether it is online or whether it is over the board. It is a real concern. Modern chess faces opportunities to cheat, which, to be frank, did not exist even maybe 30 years ago. I was going to say 100 years, but frankly, prior to technology did not exist, because obviously, as we know, in the modern age, computers have long surpassed
I think
humans.
Frankly
Probably,
Delicious
would
is
say,
here
again,
tonight
this is a little bit
too.
historical,
Pretty
but
sure I
until
saw him in
about
the chat.
1997-ish, humans were still better than the best computer programs, but ever since 1997, when Garry Kasparov, the former world chess champion, played against Deep Blue, the IBM supercomputer, computers have just surpassed humans. Every year since then, they've gotten
I
better
think
and
I saw
better,
him
and
here.
now it's not even comparable. We're just so bad at
Oh.
chess relative to computers. So,
This is
again,
getting
the
boring.
opportunities are much different now versus, say, 30, even 100 years
How
ago.
much left?
We need stronger anti-cheating standards.
I will listen to
and
Logan.
a safe space
All right,
for
we'll
players
keep
to
going.
report their concerns. Now, this is very, very important to mention that where players are able to report their concerns without being sued.
It does look like he's
labeled
reading
as
from a
sore losers
teleprompter.
or flat out ignored. This, again, is quite relevant. And, I think this is where we're going to kind of round it out a little bit here, just with this last little bit. Because I think, we've seen a lot of narratives, a lot of things that have been said about this over time. But as I said back in September of 2022, there were many very high-rated grandmasters who were speculating about cheating over the board. So there were many strong players. Down the road, I may or may not choose to name names. I've had players who wrote directly to me, in fact, as well as others, and I do feel like many of these players, they've been able to kind of not have their names out there, even though they've very much been involved in everything related to cheating. Now, of course, as I said, I'm not going to delve into that right now, but I might go into that in the future, as I do think it's very important to acknowledge the role that they've played in all of this. In all of this. So that's more or less all that I have to say right now. I think, looking at it broadly, it was a very big scandal at the time it happened. We've now moved forward from there. I think it's good that it's good that chess can move forward. It's good that this is behind us. I think there were a lot of things that were spawned out of this that were very negative, definitely reflected very poorly on chess as a whole. And I just hope that as far as over the board or online cheating, whether you look at FIDE, whether you look at chess.com, this is an issue that is taken very seriously. I think ultimately that is the most important thing, because when we go forward into the future, there are a lot of big events over the board online, and the single biggest threat is definitely cheating, without a doubt. So we do need to keep that in mind. Now, as I said, it's very good that this has been resolved. As we move forward, I may or may not have more to say about in the future. Right now, of course, due to the sensitivity around it and everything, I don't really feel like it's the right time. So I more or less told you guys how I feel. Again, not a laughing matter by any stretch of the imagination for anybody involved, obviously. Quite stressful for many of the parties, certainly. I think for everyone involved. So that should be noted. And then, as I said, I think the last point, again, I'm repeating myself because obviously, I don't do a lot of these short article blog posts and turn them into videos. But the last point I will stress that again, that I think there are a lot of people who are able to sort of, not have their names out there, it was not known publicly that they've been complaining about a lot of over-the-board cheating stuff over the previous couple of years. And I do hope that at some point, some of those players do come forward and they acknowledge, what they said, instead of hoping that they can kind of fly under the radar. So that is the last little bit that I have to add
What does that mean?
about the topic. Again, it is good that everything has been resolved. It's good for all parties. Of course, it's obviously, it's good for me, it's good for Mag, it's good for chess.com, and good for Hans. Everybody gets to go forward with their lives. We get to continue playing chess and following this great game. So I think that's pretty much it for right now. Obviously, make sure to leave your comments below. There's certain things that of course can be said, cannot be said, but I think this is a pretty good place to leave for the time being due to the sensitivity around
Do you want to leave a
this.
comment?
But again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I will be back to covering chess game.
We could leave one.
No.
I know. It did take him 10 minutes to end.
Yeah, what Hikaru said doesn't make any sense because, he's Hikaru. So you can't go willy-nilly accusing people of cheating, which seems like he wants that to happen. It's like people, they should be going public and saying who they think is cheating. That would be nice if you could do that, but then people who aren't cheating get accused of cheating. So
Yeah.
that's why people don't say somebody was cheating, because
and years later.
You never know.
Was he want somebody to talk about, 2 years ago at the blah, blah tournament,
Although somebody could say that Hikaru was cheating.
I know. I don't understand that at all.
He probably wasn't. All right, let's get rid of this because this is.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that wasn't as exciting as I expected.
I thought it was going to be more exciting too, but I am glad I saw it. You can just. Do you want me to do it? You have to go into the properties.
What do I have to do? Just to put a chessboard up, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I put it on live chess.
I thought there were two windows open. I didn't know that you were using the same window. Adam in the ATL says, "Hey, how can I get that 12 minutes back?" Well, at least we're current on the chess news.
Yeah, he dissed Hans a little bit, so that was, I guess, the point of the video. Was to diss Hans a little bit.
No, I mean Hans was mad at Hikaru acting like, "Oh, I was just dragged into this," acting like he was just some innocent bystander. That's not true. And then the point that Hikaru said where he was diminishing the lack of opportunities for Hans, that's not true. It's not true that he had the opportunities that he would have had if not for the scandal. Playing in open tournaments and grinding it out is not the same as playing the best players in the world at these invitational tournaments. These super GMs would never play at those open tournaments because they're going to lose rating potentially. Panda says, so to wrap things up, we hit the reset button on Niemann and Robbie. You got it.
That's right, Lawful Waffle, just like Kramer. That was the whole settlement.
This feels like the final scene in Burn after reading. It's strange. I thought his facial expressions and the way he was speaking was odd. Whoever said he was in YouTuber mode nailed it. Forgot who said it.
I thought Hikaru made more sense when he was here, and we had Hikaru on the stream here.
Right.
That made more sense to me. That seemed more Hikaru like.
Yeah, that was some thunder.
Although he did throw in a couple of Franklies for no reason.
Yeah, and I know I saw Frankly Delicious here. Hey, next time Hikaru comes, I'm sure that his wife will come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're sure she will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can be the wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shorter version of what happened. Are you trying to rickroll me trying to learn?
He does have a. That probably is a rickroll. Yeah, that's good.
What are you doing?
That probably is a rickroll.
I'm skeptical what that is there.
That's got to be a rickroll. It's got to be. Yeah, he got married a month or two ago.
Yeah, she's lovely too, and a chess player.
She's some WGM IM kind of chess player.
I'm dying to know what that link is, but I know what you're about trying to learn.